Hello, beautiful souls. How are you? Thanks for tuning into the podcast. This is episode 10. And if we haven't met before, I'm Jo Draper. My business is Live Virtually, where I help spiritual women launch their courses, memberships, and services to the world. So I do that with Canva design, mentoring, course membership, and email support and templates for your business. So if you need help in any of those areas, please head over to my website, www.livevirtually.com.au. I also have a membership called Live Love Manifest, which has sponsored this episode of the podcast. And I help their amazing women creating and coming up with ideas and um, working around the tech and the business management and support for my members. So today's episode, if I didn't already say, is episode 10. And I want to chat with you today about Canva because I've been having a few questions around, what can I use it for in my business and how can it help me? How can I learn? And so on and so forth. So I wanted to do an actual podcast episode because I searched online and the only podcast episode that I could find was with the founder, with the lady called Mel, and I can't think of her last name as we speak, but she founded with a couple of other people in 2013, and so it's been going for a while now, and she she designed it with people in mind that had some graphic design skills, but also zero graphic design skills. So the platform is designed in such a way that even if you have zero graphic design skills and zero creativity, there's no reason why you can't use it. There are so many templates in there for social media, for email headers, for videos, for ebooks, workbooks, checklists, planners, infographics, t-shirts, flyers. I don't think off the top of my head, and all sorts of things in between. So some of the things that I've used it for personally, I design email signatures. So I design all the email signatures in Canva, and that's fully branded to my client's style guide. So for example, you can see that, if you know of me, that my logo has gold and the pink and the greens. So I would create mine in my colors, and then the social media images I would find either a circle or a square, or whatever social media icon. So say Facebook, I'd find the icon that I wanted, and then I'd color that in one of my brand colors. And so then you can create a design that's bespoke for each client. And even if you used exactly the same design, which a lot of mine tend to have, and a lot of email signatures tend to have the same design, it will be a photograph on the left hand side, perhaps in a circle or a square, and there might be a color behind it. And then the person's name in like a script font, or if they don't have a script font, it would be one of their brand fonts. And then underneath would be their job title or the business owner, and then you could have their phone number, their email address, their website, and then their socials. And then other people have a link to their lead magnet or a disclaimer. So for legal firms or anything like that, they would have a legal disclaimer underneath. So, and then you can add in links and things via, I was using a Google Doc. So if you just want the clickable links and they only work on your laptop signature, you can create them in a Google Doc. But if you want the full HTML version, then you need to get somebody who knows how to code. So I actually do the design, and then I send them over to a beautiful man called Nahidas, who does my coding for me. So some of the other things that you could use it for is your social media graphics. So that is your squares, which will work for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can do a YouTube banner. You can do a YouTube header. I've done a YouTube intro for mine as well, which is extremely basic because I didn't want to spend the money as yet on getting a full intro, because I'm not sure if that's going to sit in my marketing as yet. So all I did was I went into Canva to create new design, chose video. I made the background my brand color of pink. Then I added some wording. So mine, I did Canva tutorials. So I added the wording, and then I found a picture of the Canva logo in the elements, and then I animated the page. So if you think to a presentation where you would have like a PowerPoint presentation and you would have the slides either coming from the left or from below or from above or like popping in or something like that. So there's those elements now within Canva that you can do. So that was my first page, and then the second page I had spiritual business tips, and I found a logo, a little element that fit with that wording. And then the third page was my watermark. So I used my gold watermark, just made it big. And then I found some royalty-free music and made it fit with the intro. So I didn't want it too long. So I think I did it like max 10 seconds. And then you download that as a video. And then when you do your video editing in your software, then you would put that as your intro. And then you would, put it together so that it goes with the actual video that you've recorded. So that's an example of something probably a little more advanced, but not really. Like, that was like, it's 3 pages. So it's not like it's a massive learning curve to learn how to do that. And, like I've been using it in my business now for almost 2 years. And, like when I look back at the designs I first made, like they weren't that great. I've always been a creative person. I've always been somebody who learns how to do something creative, whether it's crochet or cross stitch or, drawing or jewelry making or whatever. And, so I've picked up things over time, but also know the benefits of using amazing templates in my business. So I invested in a couple of memberships where I get templates either monthly or quarterly, or they're just all sitting there. And, so I use those a lot. I also invested in memberships for stock photography. And the reason I chose to do that was because I've actually just moved to a new one. So the one that I was using was called Ivory Mix, and absolutely amazing. So you get Instagram squares, you get Pinterest pins, plus the stock photography, plus workshops. It's absolutely amazing. However, the photography for me wasn't fitting so much of my brand. And that was because I decided to go more working with spiritual women. So then I needed images that fit that brand so that whenever I was talking about what I was doing, it was clear that I work with spiritual women in business and not just, like a picture of a podcast or of an office or and yes, that's what I do, but I needed to speak to the women that I love to work with. So now I've got stock photography with Inspired Stock Shop, and oh my God, her images are just so beautiful. And if anybody's watching this on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the banner behind me. If you are listening to the podcast, check out my pages because I shared it just recently. So I will actually share a picture of the banner. I think I shared it on my stories, so it might not stay. So I will share it again and let you see what I designed using one of the photos. Um, so there's no reason why you can't design stuff in Canva. It's a free program. However, I would highly, highly recommend that you think about upgrading to Canva Pro. There are a few reasons why. The first one for me is the brand kit. So putting your brand kit in Canva makes life so much easier because you've got all your fonts in one place, all your logos, all your watermarks, all your colors, and any elements or images that you use on a regular basis. So then when you open a design, your colors are the first ones that pop up. Now, I work with a lot of different clients, so I can have a brand kit of colors for each person. So what I do is I create a new brand kit and call that, we'll call it my company, we'll call it Live Virtually. And because there's the fonts there are my fonts, I will add in text that says what fonts they use. So for me, it's Jacqueline and Montserrat. So I would just add those words at the end so that I know when I'm working with that client, these are the brand fonts that I use. And that's just a little hack that I've sort of not come across, but just worked out for myself that that's what worked. So rather than going into their folder and finding something that I've created for them, I know when I open that their brand kit that that's what they use. One of the other things I've created is a journal. So a magazine style A5 journal for a networking group that I'm part of. It got printed actually at printers. It wasn't printed by Canva, although one of my clients has had quite a few things printed by Canva, and the service has been amazing, and the printouts have been really, really good. So she's had some like business card style and some flyers, price list. So she's had the thinner style material and the thicker style like paper and card. And they've all come out really, really good. And the print quality is good. The colors are good. The journal that we had done from the printer like came out, it was spot on. It was so good. And we created every single page in Canva. I think there's like 30 pages and all of them were in Canva, and that was done to one of my clients' brand styles. So she's got navy blue and orange. And so we used the stock photography that she'd got in her brand because she'd had photographs taken with some other amazing women. And so we used all of those photographs. We've used photographs from events that we've attended and had professionally done. And so we've used quotes, but we also used stock photography from the free stock photography sites such as Unsplash or Pexels or Pixabay. And, like when you're using the photography within Canva or within one of these stock photography sites, you do need to check out the legal jargon, if you like, just to check that it's okay for you to use those images in whatever it is that you're using. So please be aware that you need to do that. And I'm not a legal professional anymore. Like I did work in law for like 20 years. But I'm not qualified to give that advice anymore. So you do need to check that out. And if you're unsure, ask questions in the groups or ask questions of your legal representative. So the other things that you can use it for, and there's a little hack that I've started using as well, is ebooks. So most people these days have got something written down that they would like to put into an ebook, whether that's for a lead magnet as a freebie or whether that's for a paid product. So what I've been doing is I use Microsoft Word. I also use Google Docs, but for this I prefer Microsoft Word. And the reason for that is the formatting, because you can put their styles in, you can put their fonts in, you can put their colors in, and then it's just a case of clicking a button. You can do them all on Canva, and I have done them from scratch. But if you want it to look like, I'll share what I've been doing, and then you can take your own, take it for yourself how you use it. So I would take an A4 document, format that document, maybe add in a couple of images into the Word document, or what I've been doing is creating sheets in Canva that you can use as separators. So say you've got a section that's an intro, you would have a header page that would say intro, which I then would design in Canva. And then what I would do, I would create a front cover, an intro page, any of the section pages, a thank you page with a call to action, and maybe a back cover that has websites. When you're in Canva and you're downloading as a PDF, you can add external links. So if you've got links to your website or social media pages or YouTube videos or whatever the external links are, if you put them in Canva and then or in Word, you can add them in Word as well. Then when you download it as a PDF, the links will stay clickable. So then download your PDF in Canva, download your Word document as a PDF, and then I use Adobe, but you can use like PDF Escape to combine the two together. Then you would just have to move some of the pages around so that it fits with the design of your ebook. So, for example, you would have your front cover, your intro page, and then you might have a table of contents, and then you might have your section header for your intro, or your about page, or your telling people what your ebook is about. And then you would have that page from the ebook. Then you might have another section page. Then you would have another, you go through your ebook like that. It just makes it a little simpler, because I found that when I copy and paste from a Google Doc or a Word doc into Canva, it's just a little harder to navigate, and it has got a lot better. I must say it's a hell of a lot better now, and you can format a lot easier. But I've found that using the two together is like, a match made in heaven, and you can put them together and they look cohesive. I've just done we'll call it a Bible for one of my clients where she's got a photo booth company, and she wanted this Bible for her team members to have access to certain things. So, about the uniform and the troubleshooting and, their pay and all sorts of things that she's got in there. So we created that like that. And it looks amazing. Like, it looks fantastic. So we've got some images to add in, but like, that's the sort of thing that you can create on there. I create email banners that you can use in your email service provider, or you can use them in your Google or Outlook, depending what email you use. My podcast episodes, I do my designs on there. My YouTube thumbnails, I do on there. I've just created, so my membership is hosted in MemberVault. So I've created all of the headers and the teaser pages and things like that. So most things, apart from the actual writing and the copywriting, everything else image-wise has been created in Canva. So I hope this gives you an insight into what you can use it for. I do have another workshop coming up in May, if you listen to this in real time. It's local to the Gold Coast. I don't have many spots left because I actually had quite a few people on wait list because the last one sold out. So I already have about 12 people and I can only take 17. And this is the 3rd of May as I'm recording this. However, I've had a couple of people ask me about one-on-one Canva training. And so I have a special at the moment where you will receive 2 hours Zoom one-on-one with me on whatever it is that you would like to learn on Canva. You'll get the recording of the Zoom. You will also get some template squares, template stories, or if that's not what you need, then we can tweak that to suit what you need the training for. I can work around most time zones because in most time zones there are a few hours where we're awake at the same time. So that's something that we can do. And the cost for that is $250 AUD, which is an absolute bargain for somebody who wants to learn one-on-one. And I have been teaching people since I was 17 and I just turned 52. So I wasn't a teacher, but I've always trained people. I've always learned something and then being able to teach somebody how to use it quickly and easily. So if that's something that you're interested in, then check out the show notes and send me a message and we can have a chat. I'm going to be setting up a booking page for it so that you'll be able to book straight online, but I haven't done that yet as we speak because it's a brand new thing that I'm doing. But yeah, if you're interested, send me a DM or leave me a comment, send me an email, and let's chat. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was slightly different because it wasn't a video about Canva, but I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it. So I hope you got a lot out of that. Please subscribe and leave me a comment, and I will chat to you all soon. Big love. Chat soon. Take care.